Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello listeners, you're back here with Yusuf and company. And this is the second half of our show. In the first half we were discussing with our very well esteemed guest, Sureena Brackenridge MP, who's joined us in the studio live here at the Al-Amin Centre. In the first half we were talking about how Sureena came into politics, her career, what she's been involved with, her key pet projects that she's been involved with both in Parliament and here locally in Wolverhampton. And we're going to take that further now in the second half. We're going to continue to find out a little bit more about our esteemed Member of Parliament and learn what are the key issues that she has been working on to support us within Wolverhampton North East, and the key things that she really thinks she wants to continue over the rest of her time within Parliament to raise awareness of and campaign to try to rectify and hopefully get some government funding to resolve problems as well. So welcome back, Sureena. Is your mic on? Let me just check that now. Say it.
Hopefully, yes. That seems a lot better.
That's better. I had the wrong mic on there. Right. So, Sureena, tell us about the world of Parliament first. How do you fit in there when you go into Parliament and as a new Member of Parliament? And it's a lot of people have said it's a bit like Hogwarts.
It is. It's absolutely like Hogwarts, and I'm going to put a message out to all my constituents. If you want to see what Parliament is like for yourself, please get in touch with my office. And if you are not my constituent, then get in touch with your MP, because Parliament is our Parliament, and there are tours that are free of charge that members of Parliament can help organise for our constituents. So instead of me describing Parliament, come and see it for yourself. It is a magnificent place, absolutely magnificent. But do I fit into Parliament? What I'm going to say is, Yusuf, I make myself fit into Parliament. I'm going to share a conversation and an experience that I had. This was in the first 2 weeks of actually I was elected. You're elected on the Thursday, and literally on the Sunday you're in Westminster and you are an MP, full stop. So within the first 2 weeks I found myself in a lift, and I will not name any names, but I was in the lift with an elderly Member of Parliament from an opposition party. And he was being very nice, and he was welcoming me to Parliament, and he said, so what do you think of this, of the Palace of Westminster, as it's called? And I said, wow, isn't it absolutely magnificent? How can you not be awed by such a place? And he said, doesn't it remind you of school? School? Not my school. Don't forget Yusuf. I was a secondary deputy head teacher of Moseley Park, and I previously taught Heath Parking and copies as well. I was like, what school? And then I realised, it dawned on me, his school days were very much one of privilege and surroundings that they wouldn't have been so awed by like I was, because I have never been in anywhere that was as magnificent as Parliament. So yes, Yusuf, if you say to me, do I belong in Parliament? I've made myself belong in Parliament. I use my voice in Parliament, and everyone can hear out there I've got quite a strong Wolverhampton accent, and I don't think there is anybody in the chamber that sounds like me. But I had an email from a former student. Once again, this was quite early on. And she said, Miss, you know what it's like, you Miss also. Miss, I am so proud of you. It's amazing to see someone that looks like us and sounds like us in Parliament. And I was like, wow, I'm not changing my accent for anyone.
You've touched on something there which is actually quite important from that point of view. And it looks like us and sounds like us. How do you think we can encourage more of our community to get involved in politics so that they can, for whichever party, so that they can aspire, and especially females, especially girls, so they can aspire to get into positions like yourself?
Okay, so my office is open for work experience. Let me just put that out there as well. If you are interested in spending a week with me, and that involves spending some time with me in Westminster, seeing the workings of Parliament and also in my constituency office, then please do get in touch. So that's something that I do that's open for all young people. So I go to schools regularly and colleges as well. And I will speak to young people, and I have a list of things that I must mention before I leave. And one of the things that I mention is come and spend some time with me. Because and this is another phrase that has been said by someone much more wise than me. If you don't see it, how can you be it? And there are trailblazers and role models for me that I looked up to, and they led the way. They gave me that little bit of confidence. So my message is, regardless of political party, if you are committed to serving your community, go for it. It's an incredibly brave but important thing to do, and it's really important to have role models out there. So my office is open. If there is anybody that would like to spend some time and have good quality work experience, then let me know. And I've spoken to the local college, the careers leader and sixth form leaders as well. So they are signposting young people as well.
Excellent. That's really good to know. So there you go, listeners. If any of you are interested in getting any work experience or just visiting Parliament and getting to see and learn what happens over there, then you've certainly got an opportunity to contact the office of Sureena Brackenridge MP. And later on, it would be really good if you could actually give us your contact details as well, so your office phone number and your email address. But I'm sure if people just Google Sureena Brackenridge MP, you're very easy to locate.
If you go to Google and you put "Find My MP," then all you need to know is your postcode. Pop your postcode in, and it will tell you who your MP is. And I'm sure I'm not the only MP that's opened the office for work experience. But not everybody out there, Yusuf, realises that behind an MP is a team. Is an office of caseworkers, an office of. I have an assistant in Westminster, and I also have constituency staff. I don't understand why MPs are reluctant to speak about them, because my team are incredible. They are so dedicated, and I think it's an illusion to think that it is just the MP. There's usually a team of people. So by getting involved and actually spending some time of work experience, you'll see everything from casework to how to submit a parliamentary question. Of course, I'm going to say this. It is super interesting.
Of course. Right. Okay. Let's look at some more issues around local things, some local issues, which I think people, the things that are close to their heart. A lot of dismay, I suppose, a lot of concern around we can't get access to our doctors. What's going on with that? How is it that we can try to remedy that problem? What have you done towards remedying that problem?
Okay. So once again, I have heard this, Yusuf, increasingly. Can't see a doctor. And then my job is to unpick that. Is it a perception or is it a reality? Because we now have 2,000 more GPs than we did before the general election. And in Wolverhampton North East, I have got good relationships with most of my GP surgeries, GP practices. I go and visit and I speak to the patient group or I speak to the GP. Things have started to improve. And in Wolverhampton, for example, it's not just Wolverhampton, but across the country, lots of GP practices now have ended the 8 a.m. scramble. of where you have to phone in at 8 a.m. in the morning. And for someone like me, when I was a deputy head teacher, I couldn't phone in at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm preparing for my students and for my staff that are coming into school. So often I wasn't able to even make that phone call. Those times are gone. And there now is a link that your practice will send you by text message or by email, and you click onto that link, and it is so super simple to use. The GP surgery will help you, because not everybody is able to use technology like I am. I accept that. And there will be some people that won't want to use technology or can't use technology. But the GP surgery, they will spend a little bit of time with you and take you through it. And it's super simple. It's your date of birth and some basic information. And then it allows you to choose slots. So
you can make your appointments. So literally, if you turn up to your GP's surgery at 8 o'clock in the morning, at some stage in the day, you can actually effectively get that support.
So gone are the times when you have to be stuck on that phone. There could be 20 people in front of you, and you're waiting to make an appointment. So Yusuf, what I'm saying is things are improving, but there is still so much more to be done, and we have not taken the foot off the pedal. In fact, just this week we've announced record funding for the GP contract. But that record funding is going to be closely ring-fenced, because we know that there has to be some directive with how that money is spent and how it's spent to help the community. Because one community can have very different needs to another community. So there's going to be greater accountability as well.
Sticking to the issues of health. We've had a lot of concern from parents primarily, but also young people as well, around the impact of social media. And there's I would say an epidemic going on at the moment with regards to ADHD and autism and neurodiverse conditions. And it is thought that screen time and a lot of time spent working with and looking at a screen and looking at mobile phones has significantly exacerbated this problem. As a member of Parliament, as a person who, I know you're a mother yourself, and someone who's involved with the community, and often will hear parents talk to you about this. What has been done with regards to this, and what can be done, what needs to be done further with regards to the mental health issues of young people, and then the impact of that impacted by social media specifically?
I think the word you used, epidemic, is absolutely right, but it's not just a UK issue. This is a worldwide issue. So what we are doing is right now, at this moment in time, there is a consultation that I think will end April-ish time. And that consultation is setting out whether we go for an all-out ban for social media for any young person who is below the age of 16, or do we have more protections and measures and working with tech companies, etc. So you may be aware that Australia, the eyes of the world are currently on Australia because Australia have brought in the social media ban. And what we're doing is looking at how young people are trying to get around that. Is it actually working as they expect it to work? Are there unintended consequences? Are there tech giants that are using the billions of the control that they have with the billions of pounds that they have to try and navigate the legal world? So we are looking at all of that. My opinion is at this moment in time, the online world is not safe for young people. Full stop. I know that. I know that from my experience as a teacher, and also just use your eyes. There is no coincidence between the rise in mental health issues and the rise in the use of social media, and some of the things our young people are seeing is utterly unacceptable. And parents would do everything they could to prevent their children actually seeing this in the physical real world, but they are enabled to do that in the world of online social media because there is a false security out there. And I believe that children are more vulnerable to harm in the online world than actually in the physical world. They're actually safer to go to the local park. But parents sometimes are a little bit more reluctant on, I'm not too sure about my son or daughter going to town in the day, I'm not too sure whether it's safe, and yet don't necessarily have the same thoughts when it comes to the children being locked away in the bedrooms on social media.
So your view is we should be banning social media for the under-16s, and we should work towards trying to create really strict regulations so that the companies who are actually regulating and setting up all of this online media that we have are actually controlled and aren't able to allow access to all sorts of different weird and wonderful apps or different things which will actually lead young people astray or confuse them or get them involved with crime or make them victims of crime. But it's very, very difficult for one government to do because these are international bodies, aren't they? That's the problem.
Absolutely, but there is a momentum. France are looking at this as well. Spain have brought in tighter controls. Just because other countries aren't doing this, for me, is not the reason to not do anything. We are, but there is a consultation out there. We have got to talk to young people. We have. We've got to have them with us. We've got to talk to parents because being a parent is not one big homogenous blob. I assure you that there will be parents that will feel very strongly either side of the spectrum here, but also charities as well. And as a member of the Education Select Committee, I had a private roundtable, so that means that there weren't any cameras, it wasn't recorded, but we had parents whose children had taken their lives because of social media.
Coming on to that, so mental health is clearly an issue which is of a great concern, as I was saying previously as well. CAMs in Wolverhampton, I know, have got waiting lists as long as your arm.
Horrendous.
If a GP were to refer a patient to CAMs, they wouldn't be seen for months. And other talking therapies and things like that are the same type of issues, counselling services that just don't exist. What now needs to be done from the government point of view to actually make sure we put some significant money into that, and what campaigning and work have you done with regards to that?
Right. So one of the things that we are doing is every secondary school will have a mental health counsellor, a specialist, not a member of staff that's necessarily trained up through some CPD, but a health professional specialist. So that's a commitment that we made and we've started to roll out. I'm also going to push back on something that you said, Yusuf, about that we haven't got community counsellors or
access to the community counsellors is a problem.
We have, but once again, it's about perception and reality. So we're not too far away from the hub by the train station. For example, I know that there's really good work with specialists and volunteers as well that's happening right on our doorstep. But we've got to be better at raising awareness, so people access and know how to access these services that are out there. But we also have a problem with we haven't got enough professionals. It's all very good saying that we need to have more mental health counsellors, more this, more that, but we've also got to invest in the training of them. And this is one of the things that I'm really pleased that there is record significant funding that was announced just last week or the week before for education psychologists and speech and language therapists and mental health practitioners to start training these well, not always young people. There might be more mature people to actually come into the profession because we need that workforce, and the capacity of that workforce has been limited. And it's just another example, Yusuf, of how we've got parts of our nation in crisis, but we haven't got a magic button to fix that right now. But what we have done is put the funding and the policies in place so that pipeline is starting to come through. But there's some really good support in Wolverhampton with mental health. I'm just going to signpost people to a couple of places, right? The Walls Foundation. Absolutely fantastic. Get in touch with them. They have a whole tier of range of support for young, elderly, male, female, etc. I'm also going to signpost people to Wensfield Men's Walking and Talking. So every Wednesday evening at 6:45 they meet up in Coleman Avenue by Perry Hall School. And they've helped tackle the stigma of male mental health.
One of the things I'll just interject there, one of the things, of course, our listeners will be particularly keen on finding out is about the language support that can be given, because, of course, a lot of these facilities are no doubt in English. If you've come recently from abroad and English isn't your mother tongue and you're finding it particularly difficult, what you need is translation services as well. Yes. Alternatively, there's a service provided in your own language. I mean, people from the Middle East, people from North Africa and all the rest.
Yes.
And from that point of view, how can we now try to diversify these services so that more of them are available in mother tongue languages?
Very good.
Literally got a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Seeing that I'm going to talk about something local, I'm going to signpost about Hope Community Centre in Heath Town. Incredible. If you engage with Hope Community Centre, they will be able to seek wider services and support based on individuals' needs and language barriers as well. So Hope Community Centre, brilliant.
Okay, excellent. So from that point of view, we're looking up to the last 2.5 minutes of the show. I want to give you an opportunity really to, from your own heart, whatever you wish, any messages you want to put out there. You've been very kind enough to give us your time. I know you're a very, very busy person, so thank you very much, first of all. But just to give you an opportunity really to put out any messages to the community. It is the month of Ramadan at the moment, and we're coming up to Eid, which will be in a couple of weeks' time as well. So any messages relating to that as well. And then I'll close the show in the last 30 seconds. So a minute for you to give your messages.
The most important.
And sorry, please do also give any contacts as well, as far as contact to your office or etc.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to say I am here to help. That is the most important thing that I can do. I see myself very much as someone that is there to listen, and then I go to Westminster and I pull every lever I can to help shape things better for our community. Now, my contact details are, once again, if you can do this very quickly by going on to Google, type in Find My MP, put in your postcode, and my details or your MP's details will come up. But my phone number is 01902 288 465. So 01902 288 465. Or you can email me. But once again, you can get information from Google, Sureena.Brackenridge.mp@parliament.uk. So the most important thing I can say in these 2 minutes is I'm here to help. I offer weekly surgeries. I have a team who are there to help you with your issues. Residents across Wolverhampton and Walsall, you are not one big homogenous group with the same issues in education or the same issues with GP access or dentist or health, etc., or housing. I'm here to help you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Sureena. That was absolutely brilliant. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. It's been really, really good of you to give your valuable time to come to Iman 1.
It's my pleasure. And can I just say to all listeners, Ramadan Mubarak. And I'm wishing you and your families a peaceful Ramadan.
Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. Listeners, you're listening to Iman 1. My name is Yusuf Shafi, and this is Yusuf and Company. Inshallah, I will join you all next week as well.